Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
All right, it's Sunday. Today is day 14, my Ultraspeaking Project. Here we go. We are moving up to 9 minutes for this week. 2 weeks ago, we started at 7. Last week was 8 minutes. Today is 9 minutes. Impromptu speaking. I'm publishing these now on my YouTube channel at I Can Do with Benjamin Lee. So I'm not going to be publishing these on my podcast. I had like 12 in a row, so I'm going to stop that and get back to my normal podcasting. But nonetheless, this project continues. So you can find, follow, like, subscribe on my YouTube channel. Here we go. What qualities do all of my friends have in common? I don't know if every one of my friends have the exact same qualities in common. What I do know is that friendship is important. I do know that the 5 people, it's been said, that you surround yourself with the most will have the biggest impact on your life or in your life. I can say with great confidence that one of the biggest qualities that my friends have in common is faith. Faith in God, faith in Jesus. As many of my friends are brothers and sisters in Christ. Not all of them, but I would say the biggest portion of them, what we all have in common is a common faith. That certainly is a good thing for me, I believe, and for them as well, as we're able to build each other up, as we have the same priorities, the same perspective with respect to heaven, being on the other side, our worldview, and our mission for something far bigger than just the here and now. Friendship is always interesting because on one hand, we naturally are going to be drawn to people who have things in common. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. But on the other hand, it could become very easy for us to start dismissing other people, other qualities, traits that other people may not have in common. I do have friends, I believe they are my friends, that do not share the same beliefs that I have with respect to the existence of God or Jesus Christ. But nonetheless, there is still something that connects us. And it may not be as strong, it certainly is not as strong as faith will connect us and fellowship in Christ. But I still have acquaintances, I still have friends that no, we're not on the same page with respect to that, but there are other ways that I am able to connect with people. I love to work out. I love to exercise. That has been a way that I've been able to connect with friends throughout my years. I am a big fan of Marvel, and that certainly has created conversations, although I don't know if I have like a go-to Marvel friend. When I started really getting into it back when we lived in Southeast Texas, sometimes I would just go to the movies by myself. My wife wasn't necessarily interested in them. So I have talked to people, but I don't think I have like that person who's like my go-to Marvel friend. But I do have friends that I text every day that we have a lot of things in common. Our faith, our fitness, where we are seeking to encourage one another. Excuse me. Friendship is always interesting. Friendships, sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. We don't have to have every single thing in common. In fact, if we do, then we may be missing out on some very unique opportunities. With that said, we do attract, I think, certain people in our lives. We are connected, or we may easily attach to other people, and that's a normal thing as well. But at the same time, people change all the time. People get married. I've had people in my life from grade school, from middle school, from high school that We no longer talk, and that's okay. I would also say that the other thing that my friends have in common is that they care about me, and that's always a great thing. You want friends who are going to be authentic. You want friends who are going to reach out to you and text you. You want friends that will also challenge you and are willing to correct you when necessary. The Bible actually says a lot about that in the book of Proverbs. It talks a great deal about the kinds of individuals that you're around, how iron sharpens iron. So I'm thankful that I have friends who have that in common as well. Friends that are willing to give me second chances when I have not always been the best friend to them. That certainly is something that I have in common, or that they have in common as well. Friendship is a big thing these days because sometimes friends, and maybe they're not really friends, are just nothing more than transactional. They're here one moment, they're gone the next. And we live in a world today with politics, Republicans and Democrats, that if you're on the wrong side of the aisle with respect to that, then you may actually lose some friends. Something else that my friends have in common, at least some of them, some are not on social media. I can think of one that is not on social media. I can think of two that's not on social media. I'm sure there are probably more. And I've gone back and forth with social media. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel now, and I've had one multiple times. So some have that in common as well. I would also say that my friends, what else they have in common is that they're good people. They are generous. They are considerate. They are willing to give physically, their energy, their time, financially, emotionally. That certainly means a lot to me. So I'm thankful that I have friends. We live in a world today where a lot of people do not have friends. A lot of people don't have even acquaintances that they can, that they can reach out to, that they can interact with. A lot of people don't have that at all, but I'm thankful that I do. What about you? Do you have friends? Do you have friends that have things in common? I think the best way to look at this is, what kind of friend do we want to have? As I shift into a new segment of this topic, I want a friend who is willing to listen. I want a friend who is willing to encourage me. In fact, my wife and my son, they are my wife and my son, but friends as well. They encouraged me because today is day 14 with this podcast, or this episode here. I'm not putting it on my podcast anymore, but I did not want to do this right now. My wife and I, we went out on a date last night, went to the Fort Worth Symphony, which was fantastic. Listened to Black Panther and that score. It was amazing. And I'm thankful that my wife and my son pushed me to do this episode, day number 14. I'm thankful that I have people in my life like that who have that quality in common, because they hear me say a lot. One of the things that I talk about in the morning is do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. Not do it later, but do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. And I got that push today. I just got it a few minutes ago. That's why I'm recording this. So my friends have a lot in common. Faith, many of them are family. Fitness, positive. encouraging. And I'm thankful for all of them. Friends are going to come and go. So whatever qualities your friends have, embrace it. Consider it how it may be a gift. And if it doesn't fit, if it doesn't align with who you are or where you're going, then maybe you need to think about the kinds of friends that you have. Take care. God bless. Day 14 in the books. I will see you tomorrow. Let's go.